All right. Hello, Barbara. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Chad?
Good, good. Welcome to Show Me How.
Exciting. I'm excited for our topic today.
All right. So what is the topic? Good intro.
Show me how to create a merge field. Now, I'm really excited about this because today, Chad, you helped me with a merge document and helped me troubleshoot. So I think you have some great things to offer.
Well, thank you. I hope to help. We're going to start with like the best practice, and then I'm going to go deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. So if you're watching this and you're like, I just need to know how to do it, and then I'm going to get out of here, we're going to do that first. But I encourage you to stick around because there's lots of nuances to merge fields. So here we go. I'm going to stop share and let you start sharing, Barbara.
Okay, great. I will share. All right. I have a Google Doc here. Do you want to start showing me how to make a merge field on Google Doc or on Word?
I think let's start with Word actually,
Okay. Will that load
as we're
that
going
up?
to Word is the more commonly used method. So, all right. So the best way to create a merge field for Apsona to use in our document and email generation tool. So that's our setup is we're prepping a template to be used for a merge doc, right? Um, so why don't you just start typing a word? So pick a field name that you want and just or I'm sorry, that's the we're gonna get to that. That's an Easter egg for our macro. So the best practice for creating merge field is using words tools to do so. So I'm gonna put my annotate tool on here and I'm gonna have you go to the insert tab in the upper left here.
Got it?
We're going to be inserting a word merge field. Now we're going to go to quick parts right here.
Now this is different on like a Mac, right? It looks a little bit different on a Mac.
It absolutely does. And if we have time, I could show you. Basically, you still go to insert in Mac, but you're going to actually see the little. In fact, why don't you cancel this and I'll show you very quickly what it'll look like in Mac. So if you hit the quick parts again,
Oh, sure.
but just pause here, see this little field icon right there. You're going to actually see that very clearly on the ribbon along the top when it comes to Mac. So you won't have to, you'll basically not do the quick parts step. You'll just
Oh,
click
cool.
on this.
Just on that field.
So that's mainly the difference. But let's go ahead and do that. Okay, cool. So here we are in the UI to create a merge field. These are all different types of fields that Word offers. We want to look for, I think it even says merge field or mail merge field. That's it. So that's the type that we're entering. This format here doesn't matter. This section you could just leave, and you're basically going to just type your field name in up at the top, whatever you want it to be. So one great thing about Apsona is your merge fields don't have to match like the API name in Salesforce. Many merge tools require you to know what the field is in Salesforce and then type it out character for character. You can say anything you want here because you're going to map every merge field in Apsona. So you've chosen full name. That's perfect.
Awesome.
You've already done one of our best practices, which is not using spaces. So you don't want to do full space name. It can still work. Epson is pretty flexible, but we're talking best practice. So best practice, no spaces, and no funky characters that could mess things up too. So what you've done is perfect. And go ahead and hit OK. Okay.
Awesome.
So if we're talking like the top of the line, top shelf, best way to do it, we're done. You just created a merge field. Congratulations. Okay, but we're going to keep going. So now what I'd like to show you is if you right click on this field, you're going to see an option to update, edit, and toggle field codes. I like to use toggle field codes. That's kind of my method. And what I'm getting you to do here is we are now kind of peeking inside the field. Like this is, I call this the internal label. And what we were previously looking at was the external label. So this is like the code that Word is using to say, hey guys, this is a merge field and here's the name and blah, blah, blah. And then the result is that nice looking one with the brackets around it. So one thing I like to tell people here is, again, it's not 100% essential, but the best practice is that your internal label, full name with no space, is the exact same thing as the external label, um, which is that. So if you want to double check that your merge field is set up perfectly, that's how you do it. Open it up, make sure it looks exactly the same, and then close it up and you're good to go. Sound good? Any questions so far?
No, that sounds great. Um can I show you a couple, because I've seen people do this.
Yeah, go for it.
And you're saying I should, this is not a good way to do it.
So it's not the best way to do it. Probably like 90 to 95% of the time, that second method will actually work fine with Apsona. There's a couple places that I'm still kind of trying to define myself so that I can be like the most educated about this. But I think like when you get into using merge fields to do like conditional statements in a merge template, like if this field is above 0, then show this paragraph, otherwise show this other paragraph. When you have to use merge fields to make those conditional statements, and I think Ipsona can't necessarily work with those as well when it's the typed out brackets. I'm not 100% confirmed on that. I haven't done enough testing. Also, when you get into the world of sublists and you're creating tables to show related records, I think sometimes those typed out brackets can break down there. Again, not 100%, but we're talking about the best way to do it. So that's not the best way, but it will often work. It is faster, but I'll use this opportunity as a plug, and I'll put the link in the description. Apsona has a macro, a word macro that's pretty easy to add to Word. And what it does is it gives you this little extra icon in your upper bar here. And what you do in that case is you just type out the word full name and you highlight it and you click that little macro button and it instantly turns it into a merge field. So we're not going to demo that here because you don't have that set up, but I'll put the link in the description, and it's a really great tool. I use it all the time. So if we're talking about like, hey, I need it to be fast, but I also need it to be the best, that macro is like, that's the top shelf margarita of merge fields.
Awesome. Can I do one more thing? Just ask you one more thing. So I think people also like to oh, copy these,
Yes.
copy and then paste them. And then sometimes they like to go in here and change to try to like skip steps to make it faster. Um, and you're saying that's not a great idea either, right?
Yeah, and I would say more adamantly that that's not a great idea. That's even worse of an idea than typing it. And that's because what you're about to do, you're a step ahead of me. If you hit toggle field codes, even though you've changed it to account, it still says full name. So again, I have seen scenarios where it seems like it's kind of working, but I've also seen scenarios where it doesn't work. And I think it sometimes has to do with that inconsistency between the internal and the external label. I think I've even seen merge fields just not show up because Epsona thinks that it's the same merge field. So why does it have to map it twice? And then you're like, where's my account field? And it's because of this inconsistency. So as tempting as it is to copy, if you're willing to take the extra step, toggle the field code, change the internal label to account, that's fine. That's like the one.
If I go in here, I can change this and fix it.
Yes, so that will fix it. Absolutely. And then you're golden. Um, but people don't necessarily know to do that or they forget or whatever.
Yeah.
So now that's
Okay.
good, but I think the best version is to use the word tool or the macro.
Awesome. Great.
These are all excellent points you're bringing up, so thank you. These are the most common kind of issues that people have with merge fields, so you're hitting all the nails on the head. What do I want to do next? I think
Do you want to show me on Google, or was there anything else you wanted to show me on this?
I think I want to. I think we might go to Google. I'm just checking my notes for all the different things. Yeah, let's go to Google, and if something else comes to me, we'll come back here. So maybe leave this up.
Okay.
Let's go to Google.
Let's go pull it to the side. Doop, doop. All right, here's my Google Doc.
Awesome. So here, you're not going to find the same tool set. You don't have the sophisticated merge fields that you do in Word. So when it comes to Google Docs, your only option is to type it out, which in a
Oh,
way
okay.
is fine because it's a little bit faster just to type it up. And there's kind of not much else to it. Like that is how you make merge fields in a Google Doc. And if folks are unfamiliar with the fact that you can use a Google Doc in Apsona, it's a really cool thing. So uh, when you get into the merge action window, we're not going to go down this rabbit trail, but when you get into the merge action window, you have two options of your template. You have a Word template, which is saved as a document in your Salesforce instance, or you have a Google Doc. If it's a Google Doc, you're not showing your URL bar right now, but up in the URL, there's a section of it that's just kind of like the ID of the document. It's like after the documents, and then there's a slash, and then there's a bunch of letters and numbers and underscores, and then it goes to like slash edit or something like that. And our
Yeah, I think
document,
I can show that here. Like, so this is what the ID is. And it's like this little section. Oh,
exactly the
little
one, two.
numbery section that you need, I think, right? This part.
Exactly right. Yep. In between the slashes. Perfect. So that's your ID. So the cool thing about this, and when I was a consultant, I often use Google Docs over Word because I'm working with a client who is not in the same office, doesn't work for the same company. And I would just share the Google Doc and I'd be like, hey, here's your Google Doc. If you need to update it, here you go. And the ID is already in the merge action. They don't have to upload the Word doc as a new document in Salesforce. It's all live. So it's really great for just like collaborative editing and updating over time. As long as they have that ID in the merge action, they could even find it in the future if they've lost track of it. So I do think Word doc or Google Docs is a great use case. But some of the sophistication that you need in Word, some of the formatting, all that kind of stuff, that's where Google Docs starts to break down because it's not really intended to be as robust of a tool as Word is. So there's limitations to when to use Google Docs, but in general, I think it is a great feature.
Yeah, I think I'm running into a situation like that right now with an Excel merge I'm doing. I think the Google Docs, I think I need more of I'm using a Google version of Excel, and I think I need to use Word, the Word version of Excel because I need some of those more robust features. Um,
Gotcha.
so yeah, I found that too.
Yeah, cool. I think that's it for Google Docs. I do want to show two more things on the Word side. I've had a couple.
Okay, sure. I can pull that back up.
Okay. Um, so one trick that I like to tell people is if you have a really complex document and you're looking for errors in your merge fields and you just want to open them all up, you could just literally go Control A and go ahead and do that. Actually, just do Control A and right click on one of the fields. Doesn't matter which one, except for the typed one. Choose.
Oh,
Yep, that's good. Toggle field codes, and they all open up. So it's like a quick way to like just get your document as transparent as possible for review. And then you can look for like, inconsistencies in the names or like weird spaces that were left over, other characters that maybe got stuck inside. So that's one trick I just wanted to say. That's a nice way to open it up. The other, does that make sense? Any questions or anything?
yeah, yeah. But this one didn't open up because it's not an actual Word
It,
merge field.
that's exactly right. Yeah, which is fine. Because like I said, they will often work. So the other thing that I want to tell you about, I'm not sure exactly even how to recreate this issue, so I'm not even going to try. But one thing that I've found happens quite often. It's typical for people to like to do a lot of iterations as they're creating a template for a merge doc. They have to add new fields, they have to move things around, things aren't working, they're opening stuff up, changing the internal label, closing it. There's lots of editing and they're creating new versions all the time and it can get kind of complex. After a lot of back and forth editing, I have found that like people will attempt to remove a merge field by deleting it, but for some reason the internal portion of your merge field is stuck in like the space of a Word doc. So I honestly have it's never happened to me personally, so I'm not sure how to recreate it. But like if you can close these real quick, I might
Yep.
be able to maybe simulate it. Cool.
Okay.
If you like maybe double click on that bottom merge field to try to highlight it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Well, what I was trying to get is like it I guess I don't even know how to recreate it. What I know is that I have seen merge fields literally like stuck in the cracks of a Word doc. And so the way I've
Yeah,
gotten
I've seen that too. Hmm.
yeah, what I've done is like people will say, hey, I'm not seeing this merge field, or I'm seeing an extra merge field showed up and it's not making sense. Like I don't have it on the document, or this one merge field is like pushing in extra data. And I'm like, that's weird. So then I go Control A, I toggle all the fields, and I'll actually see that in this one particular spot where I visually see one merge field, there's actually two showing up, and it's like right next to it. and I just don't know how it gets left over, but somehow it gets left over after they try to delete it, but it's not fully deleting every character, and then it's hidden. And so I've solved those issues by basically just like pulling out, the internal portion like this of that extra field, and then when I run it again, it fixes itself. So I don't know if that makes perfect sense, but I guess the main point is if you're really seeing weird behavior, open everything up and just really go through it with a fine tooth comb, and you might find an extra merge field in there hiding in the cracks.
Yeah, and Control A is just to highlight everything, and then right clicking is what will open up the merge field insides.
Yeah, that's right. So you could also just like drag, click and drag, or shift click or whatever to highlight multiple lines. But yeah,
Okay,
Control A is just the shortcut. I
cool.
think that could be it. That was like
Yeah,
deep the Craigs.
that
So
was
yeah.
a deep dive there.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for letting me show you how, and
Yeah.
see you next time.
All
Oh,
right. Thanks, Chad.
yeah. Let me actually share screen and just kind of close this
Okay,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Um, just in case this is someone's first time here to this video or to these videos. We want to encourage people to use our request form if people have questions about our tools. We have a bit.ly link here, Apsona form, but you can also go to our home page and go to the Contact Us tab. We do have a great newsletter that we encourage people to sign up for. You can scan that QR code and get our monthly newsletter with the most recent things going on. And then here's just some other resources. We've got a fantastic YouTube channel with tons of videos. You're probably there now watching this, so I encourage you to look at the various playlists. We have an active LinkedIn page. We post a lot of webinar events there, so check us out on LinkedIn. And myself and Barbara are going to be at office hours every week. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we hold live office hours where you can get your questions answered. And again, we got a bit.ly link here to get to those. There's no registration needed. You just pop in at the time, and our happy little faces will be there and we'll help you out. And I think that's it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Chad.
All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye.
All right, bye.